Excellent. I'm going to hit record on my computer here because we have a podcast and you guys should check it out. It's ER Shred on podcast. We also have a YouTube channel. You guys should all check that out. Please, please, please share away. We are live on my wall. This is the ER Shred Come Alive call. My name is Sean Escobar. And if you would be willing, we'd love it if you go share this call with all your friends, family, everybody you care about, because we are all about changing lives and we are all about reaching more people. When you hear the stories tonight, one of the things you could do is just contemplate, was this a solution for them? Is this a solution for me? And then look outward, because there are people that need us. There are people that need our help. We want to help them. We're going to do our little surprise at the very beginning. But first I have a few announcements. First announcement, massive thank you to Coach Jesse James Jamnick and to Dr. Paul Arciero for the call last night. What? That was amazing. Dr. Paul, total class act, 100% genuine, genius. And, he lent us his credibility. And I hope you guys all understand how meaningful that is. His endorsement speaks volumes. And if you haven't noticed, we're all pretty giddy about it. Jesse would say we're like a couple little schoolgirls, squealing and squeaking. And, we're so happy. So for us, this officially cements that ER Shred is legit. Oh, I should put on speaker mode. There we go. So we are going to put that video front and center on our website. It's already there. Chief Shred Educator Heather Sika Leonard already put it there. We want everybody to see it. We want to use that in our promotional efforts. And we want, we just want to, it's just so valuable. It's just so much meaty content and value that everybody needs to see that. And, very exciting stuff. So, and it'll be on the podcast soon. All right, guys, I am on day 10. You guys should be on day 10 too, unless, for whatever reason, this wasn't your shred, but this is a seasonal shred. And so I'm committed personally to doing these seasonal shreds. Now, I don't have a labor-intensive job like Jesse. He's going to have to fit cleanse days in when he can. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have to make things work where you can. But, it's crazy because I took this one so drop dead serious. And I've been telling everybody in my private communications, this one's been special because this one for me is reminiscent of my first time in 2020 when I came alive. And this one for me, it's almost like it's refining. That's the word. It's refining me. And I'm so excited about it because there was a few indulgences. I'll tell you what they are. I was having a little too many berries, frozen berries. I was having a little too much dark chocolate. I was having we're human, right? I'm human too. And I was having a little bit too many sparkling waters. And some of you might say, that's not horrible indulgences. These, for a lot of you, will be part of your blueprint. And they may still remain part of my blueprint, but I have to fine tune how much. And we're also learning something that's very valuable that I learned from Jackson Parr. And that is that moderation is, one way of doing things. And then there's to abstain. And for a lot of people, you must abstain, maybe for a period of time, maybe forever, from certain things that you just can't practice moderation. And that's part of the education of ER Shred. And it's wonderful. Let's just put it that way. It's a wonderful component of ER Shred that we learn about ourselves, that we learn about our behavior. We don't just make excuses. We don't just justify it. All right, enough of that. Guys, tomorrow's you're gonna feel better. I feel good right now. About an hour ago, I was like, boom, 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 boom. I was tanking. I laid down for a little bit, took a nice little rest. Now I'm feeling snappy. That cleansing high is starting to hit me. Tomorrow's gonna be a killer day for me. I'm so excited. All right, now we'll get to our big surprise. Big surprise. Big surprise. Okay. And you guys, I hope you appreciate the surprise as much as I do, because you know what? It's a pretty big deal. With no further ado, our surprise tonight is that the heart of ER Shredder, Mimi Terrell, has a new song, and it's just perfect timing because it is about these cleansing, fasting days, these reset days. And she's going to sing it all for us live here. Mimi, are you out there?
I am here. Hello, everybody.
Hi,
so I am
Mimi.
not cleansing today because I'm finishing 2 rounds of antibiotics. I did have an injury that immediately was, inflamed and infected. So I'm foundationally shredding, and I will jump on a 2-day cleanse 5 days after I finish my meds. And that will be 5 days starting tomorrow. So tomorrow will be day 1. And then 5 days, I will do a 2-day cleanse.
Pretty cool how lit you are now, because you do appear physically strong, and I've been talking to you throughout the day. You're with it. You're firing on all cylinders, considering you had a horrible injury, and that could have really set you back. It probably would have set a lesser person back a lot. So respect.
Well, I almost lost my entire arm. Now I was able to keep the finger, but same type of injury. It came from a cat. This one was immediately fever within 8 hours, and at 12 hours, the red streak was halfway up my arm. So I was able to get medical attention immediately, and then I fell back on what I knew to do. And I'll tell you this, that was really pivotal. When I stopped the penicillin and started overlapping the second antibiotic, I started throwing in 2 bone broths at a time, like drinking half. I mixed 2, drank half. A few hours later, drank another half. So I had the collagen bone broth. I don't have any elixir in the house right now. And then I started eating the grass-fed steaks. I started basically just, look, my thumbs up. Why is my own thumb up? So I started, it seemed like the day after I had a big, fat, juicy, rare steak. It was a miraculous event where the swelling was so far down and none of the redness was there. I'm now massaging the scar tissue, and I should have full range of motion with my tendons. So yeah.
Congratulations. Very exciting, very inspiring. What have you got for us tonight?
Well, this is a new cleanse song, and I have so many songs in my iPad that I've put there, and I just haven't, I've got the tunes and the lyrics written, but I have not practiced them. And this one, I thought, you know what, I should just do this one. It's short and sweet. So the tune is from a 1925 song back in the Depression era, and it's called Bye Bye Blues. And I wrote Bye Bye Food, because quite honestly, we just got to say so long. We're not going to have any food now for 2 days, a total of 60 hours. You count the night before and you count the last night. You wake up the next day and boom, you're done. So this is a 1925 song, and this is called Bye Bye Food. Bye bye food. Yes, it's true. When you're fasting, gut is resting, no digesting. When you're through, you have proof. You thrive, you come alive. Bye bye food. Yes, this can be done by drinking bone broth. This is the shredder way. It may sound crazy, and I don't mean maybe. I know that you're gonna say, should be. ER shred.
All right, we all got to give it up for Mimi.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that. So much fun.
You are so much fun.
Thank you so much. Thanks for letting me share too.
Well, I just absolutely adore Mimi Terrell. Oh man, I love you. You're amazing. I just love the energy you bring. The Heart of ER Shred was named after you because you're just all heart. And you really do epitomize what we're all about in terms of contribution. And in my eyes, I just want to say like legendary. Like that's the word that comes to my mind when I think of Mimi and her relationship to this community and our cause, is that she is just legendary. Thank you, Mimi. Beautiful. Bye food. I love it so much. All right, you guys, tonight we have a few shares. We're going to start with another Heart of ER Shred, Kathy Martinez. You out there, Kathy?
I'm
Reminds
trying
me.
to unmute myself. Hello, Sean.
Hey, Kathy, thank you. And also, by the way, thank everybody else as well for all their contributions during this seasonal shred, quarterly shred. You show up a lot. So thank you so much for that.
That's a lot of
Kathy
fun.
Martinez, so everybody knows, where are you calling from?
I am from Pueblo, Colorado.
Okay, and who originally shared ER Shred with you? Who's the superhero that reached out to you?
My friend Gina Timberlake.
Oh yeah, she's great. She's
She is.
amazing. She's still kicking too. I mean, she's
Yeah.
on board as well.
Oh, yeah.
And what is your current passion in life so that we can learn more about you?
Well, I would have to say my passion is actually doing things that I never thought I would do, like pushing myself to do things that I once believed were impossible for myself. So I love to run, and I am building. I had a little mishap this morning in the dark, but I am building my gumption, and I'm going to run a half marathon this year. The most I've ever run is 7 miles, but I'm going to do a half marathon because I can and I am.
What's
So,
that? 13.5, 13?
13.1.
Cool.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yep.
That's very exciting. I'm actually trying to look up your before and after picture.
And my grandchildren are also my passion in life. I love them. They mean everything to me.
Okay, Kathy, I'm going to show this picture. Kathy, you can't talk for a second because if I keep talking, it'll stay on here. Kathy, this is you in July of 2021. And then this is Kathy in January of 2023. I mean, the difference, I would say I see a little bit of a difference. I don't know about you guys. No, in reality, it looks like a completely different person. Kathy, what flows through you when you see that?
I put up a post on my wall the other day because I had saw a post that I made about how I was going to stop weighing myself once a week. It's been a whole year since I've weighed myself once a week.
Okay, so you're also a scale shredder. I dig it.
Yes, and when I look at those pictures, my before and after, I see how much I suffered in my before picture. I think that picture that you showed was actually my after picture from my first ER shred, my first 11 day. That was my after. And I never shared it with anyone until I posted it because when I looked at it.
Let me say this. So the one that's July 2021, that was after your very first ER shred.
I believe so. Well,
Okay.
no, that's probably when I took my IsaBody photo. I don't exactly remember.
Okay.
I just know that was during my first 11 day, that photo. And even the one I had at the end, I still look at that picture and I see that I was suffering a lot,
Mhm.
but I believed that I could, I had the hope that I could turn it around. And as I continued, the hope built, and I proved to myself that I could do it. And I proved to myself that I could do a lot of things. And I feel like, 18 months in, I don't concern myself with what I weigh. I concern myself with how strong I am and the things that I want to do, and can I do those things?
Yeah.
And that's what makes my heart beat, is what I can do, and the things that I felt were out of my reach before, that now I believe are totally doable for me.
Mm.
So
What
yeah.
parts of ER Shred do you feel made the most difference for you?
Well, I feel like, the protocol itself, and learning about nutrition, and what actually food is supposed to do for your body, was something that was very important for me. I don't know, I was listening to my first Come Alive call, and I didn't know anything about nutrition. And I feel like as I plugged into the calls, and the education that was available, I was able to learn things that I never knew. And then as I learned them, it was like my body learned them too. It's a really trippy thing. Like, people will ask me, people who I work with and stuff, they'll say, well, how much weight are you going to lose? Because, they knew me before my ER Shred days. And then I tell them, I'm not here to lose weight, honey. I'm here to build strength, and I'm here to, climb the incline 3 times and run a half marathon. That's what I'm about, baby. I'm not about what I weigh on a scale. So yeah.
You are just giving me them goosebumps all over, because that is absolutely the Shredder way. That is Shredder mentality. I
And do
love
you
it.
know, Sean, that, like, for me, it's such a big deal to have a different mindset about it, because from the time I was 19 years old until the time I was literally 47, all I ever did was fixate on how, if I could just lose weight, I would feel better. And
Yeah.
I struggled so much, so needlessly. And, I don't know. I don't know.
I gotta
When we
ask
were
this. You
watching the
said
call last night, they were
yeah.
saying shred for life. Like, I am shred for life. There will never be a day that I don't shred.
I love that. I love that. I feel the same way. Why would I choose otherwise? You said you suffered, I think the words you used were, you suffered needlessly.
Yeah.
Well, what changed? Like, what on earth has empowered you so much?
Do you know, I feel like as I started to feel better physically, because I was having a health problem, crisis, I didn't feel well, but as I started to feel better, I started to work on my mindset. And I feel like ER Shred gave me the power to actually tap into that. It sounds really woo woo, but once I started to feel better physically, and I started to believe that I could change things for myself, like, I don't know,
Okay,
the
there
the
is nothing,
community
there's
of
nothing,
people
we'll talk about the community.
just
Hold on.
really
There, let me
helped
say,
me with
I'm
it.
just gonna, I'm gonna let you talk on the community, but the what you're speaking to is not woo-woo. In
It
fact,
sounds like it
Ali
could be.
Sivright would, she'd slap you for that, because he doesn't like it when people derogatorily talk about.
Oh no, I'm not
No, no,
trying to
no, no,
make
no.
it
Hold
sound
on, hold on. What I'm
derogatory.
saying is, you can't put your finger on it. So
Yeah.
we might refer to it as woo-woo. I know you're just joking, but
Yeah.
but Kathy, I've seen it in you. Kathy, you're a different person, and it's not
Oh
just
yeah.
the way you look.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
You went from just being in life to, like, taking the bull by the horns and owning your life. And that is just evident. And it is so cool. And you know what? Furthermore, you and so many others, you've just completely changed I'm talking in terms of cognition. It's a trip. When you say it's woo-woo, I get it. But I kid you not. If we all said, has Kathy Martinez evolved? Can we actually measure the evolution? We can measure it. It's
Yeah.
there, and you're a different person. You're more confident. You're more with it. You're sharp. Even when you say, "Hey, I ain't in here for the weight loss, babe," just your energy. Your energy is so high vibing. You've got that certainty. I mean, I just got to hand it to you.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like ER Shred helped me change my thermostat. I watched this podcast, and it was talking about how your thermostat, and previously in my life, when I had some success with losing weight with different things, when it was over, I always seemed to gain the weight back because I always thought back to, oh, well, you struggle with your weight. And I feel like ER Shred helped me to free myself of that. Like, I don't struggle with my weight. I mean, I just finished my 5th IsaBody, and I actually submitted to put myself out there, and I never would have done that before. But the main thing about that one IsaBody, my 5th, was that I actually didn't lose that much weight at all. And, I had a hernia surgery. I stopped running. But as I was not doing that, I was like so grateful that, I mean, I had a lot of things go on. It was a little bit of a rough period for me, but through all of that rough stuff that's gone on, I feel like I've emerged like a stronger version of myself. And I feel like ER Shred did that for me.
Well, how did it do that?
Well, I feel like it's kind of like Jesse talks about it a lot. It's kind of like the compounding factor. Little by little, as I walked along my journey and believed in myself a little more, things started releasing, and I started digging and peeling my onion more and more. I feel like 2022 was a real internal year for me, a work of internals, lots of internal change. So,
I feel like you also are currently, based on my observation, is there's just a lot of refinement going on there for you. What were you going to say about the community?
The community is gold. Like, I have so many people who I just love dearly. I mean, I've met them on Zoom. I've talked to them on the phone. We send each other voice messages. Like, I just love them. Jesse, I mean,
he's a real piece of work.
I can't actually express the way I feel about Jesse. I will always love Jesse James Jamnick, because he is the person who, when I questioned myself at the beginning, could I do this 11 days and would it change anything for me? He is the person who I listened to when I was in the guides before I placed an order, that made me believe that I could do it and I was worth doing it. And I love him.
God,
That's all.
You made me cry. What are you doing? Why are you doing that?
I'm making myself cry because
well, he doesn't get to talk yet, but he's pretty damn special. And I love him just as much as you do. And I think, again, something special is going on here, because boy, has he evolved. When he did that call with Paul, and I told everybody, like, I didn't feel qualified to do the call. And I was like, I really want to have Paul on, because Paul and I are friends. And Paul is very, as you know, in alignment with ER Shred. I said, man, I got to do this call with Paul. And I didn't feel qualified. And then, I'm just not afraid to say that. I don't mean that as a knock on myself. It's just, I know what my strengths are. Jesse is way, way, way more qualified to do that call than me. I'm not afraid to say that. And he just hit a home run. He just really did so well. And he carried himself so well. And he asked the exact right questions. And the chemistry was just so perfect. So, God, Jesse's head, as if it's not big enough, it's going to be as big as this room now. Kathy, anything else you'd like to share?
No, I just, if there's someone watching this, and you find yourself asking yourself, what would make this different than anything else? I feel like what will make this different than anything else is that you'll be able to see results, and it will help you to start to believe in yourself if you've lost that previously. So
Yeah. Yeah. Kathy, can you do one favor for me?
sure.
Like someone's struggling on ER Shred, they're like, oh man, like this is a hard transition. Like, I don't know if this is for me. What would you say to that person?
I would say give it some more time, because I in my first 11 days I didn't have the come alive moment. I just didn't. But I did have the come back moment, and that's what gave me the strength to continue. And if you can feel just that little bit, there's my little granddaughter in the background. If you can feel just that little bit of spark, it can take you places you never even imagined. So yeah.
What comeback moment? What was it?
For me, I believe that my comeback moment was the day that I finished my first 11 day and I felt better. And I thought, I'm going to go get what they got. Because I was on one of these calls not too long after. And my friend Amy Abramatics was on that call. And she was in her red shirt, and I'll never forget it. And she was just so vibrant. And I remember sitting there thinking, how am I not this vibrant? I just did my 11 day. But then I thought to myself, I feel better than I felt in months, and I'm going to go get what she got. And now I got it. So
I like the way you put that. I always teach my kids like, hey man, whatever you can do, I can do. I can't do it better because that's arrogant. But whatever you can do, I can do. Who was it? Amy who?
Amy Abramatics.
Yeah, she's cool. I love her. She's cool.
She was on my first ER Shred call with me.
It's why we do these calls.
Yeah.
That's why we do these calls. We love you so much. You look killer in that hat. You rock that hat so well. I love watching you in your beanie.
Yeah.
And I know that Susan Rothman couldn't make this call, and I know she's grinning from ear to ear. You're like big time favorite of hers. She calls you Sunshine because you're just always, you just lighten us all up. We love you. Thank you.
I love you. Thanks, Sean.
All right. Well, I think we could just end the call. It's enough, but we got more. All right. Our next guest, really super jazzed about this one. This was one of them ninja shredders. It wasn't her fault she was a ninja shredder to me. You guys, Chris Albright, a fellow ER Shred scale smasher, is on the treadmill during the call. That is so ER Shred. Mad respect for you. I totally dig that. I love that. We got to move. Whenever you guys hear me say move, I want you to think about a cow. We got to move. Okay. This next individual, she was a ninja shredder to me because I know this person from way back. I have mad respect for her and her husband, but I actually didn't catch on that they were shredding or that she was shredding, or I didn't know. And I actually started chatting with her in our group, and I was like, wait, I know these people. Why wasn't I aware that they're doing this? And then we got to talking, and it comes to find out she's a big fan. She's been doing this for a while. She has amazing results. And that is Elisa Boris. Are you out there, Elisa?
Yes, I am. Hi, thanks for having me tonight.
I'm so grateful you're here. You reminded me of when you and I were much younger, and
Yes.
we were at Isagenix events, and we had our babies in tow, and Crystal was there. And so I just really have a lot of respect for you and your husband. You guys are amazing. You're both personal trainers, is that correct?
No, actually, my husband's a personal trainer, but I've definitely play a big role in helping to coach people through like the Isagenix and just really, really helping people. That's, connecting and all that. So we kind of are a team, and I should get my personal training. There's other things that I've done, but we definitely are a team together, helping to have people live, a better life, be a better version of themselves.
Love it. You guys have been all over the stage. I've seen you. I mean, yes. You guys are big time Isagenix advocates. How many years have you guys been with Isagenix?
We have actually been using the product since 204, so about a year before our first child was born. So we have been using the shakes. I've had a shake every day.
You're talking like
since then.
19 years or something? Is that?
Yes. And it blows my mind because my oldest is 17 and he's had a shake since he's been a year. So for 16 years of his life, like that's his breakfast every single day. And he's like, I'm going off to university soon. Like, oh, don't you worry. Like you'll be set up. You'll have your shakes, because it's just a part of our lifestyle. So it's weird not to have it. So.
Jesse, I mean, it's my kids too. My kids are the exact same way. Jesse's son will be the same way. I mean, and Heather Sika Leonard, her son's the same way. It's so cool. Where are you calling from?
I am calling from a town in Canada called Strathroy. So just outside of London, Ontario, Sarnia, Ontario. We're kind of in the middle of those two, if anyone knows where that is.
Very cool. And who shared ER Shred with you?
You know what? I was thinking of that when you had asked Kathy, and I'm like, I don't know. I just think because, I mean, maybe Jeff mentioned it to me, or maybe, I can't even, to be honest, tell you, because it was a while. It had started for a while, and I think I was at a point. So I feel like it was probably Jeff. Because I was at a point where,
and everybody, just so you know, Jeff is her husband.
Oh, sorry. Jeff's my husband, Jeff Boris. Many people seem to know him, so I'll just throw out the name. I think I was at a point where I was not feeling my best, and he, had mentioned, maybe you should look at the ER Shred. And I kind of looked at it and I was like, oh my God, no vegetables. And I mean, I can do a lot of, I've competed before, so I can do a more restricted diet, but when I compete, I actually can have vegetables, and I like vegetables. I like salads. So that was kind of like, oh my gosh. But when I set a goal, I'm going to put my, just give me a second. My computer seems to be dying all of a sudden.
Oh, sure thing. Yeah. And before you go, I'll definitely just make a note here. When you set a goal,
I'm good.
Okay, before you run with your story and your results,
yeah,
I really want, this is a community. We really value community. What is your passion in life right now?
Well, that's such a great question. My passion, actually, to be quite honest, over these last few years, is my children, and trying to give them the best experiences that they can have, because my oldest is 17 and he's ready to go off into the world soon and go off to, university. And I feel like we lost some time with them. So my passion right now is just spending time with my family, and just having amazing experiences. I love to travel. So I said to, Jeff, I'm like, hey, I'm looking at the calendar. Our one child's so busy. He's driving me nuts. But I said, I think we can do something like right up, like on his birthday, which is Boxing Day. And so I'm like excited because I want to just plan this really great trip with, the four of us. And so my passion right now is just really, for me, trying to become a better version of myself. That is what I'm actually really, passionate about, is myself becoming a better version, but being able to inspire others. And that's especially my children, because I also have a 13-year-old daughter who I adore, but we're at that kind of teenage stage, and just trying to figure out how I can have her kind of navigate through life with body image and teen drama and, all like social media and all that stuff. So that's my passion, and just being healthy. Like I'm 49 almost, and I don't know how the heck I know it shocks me when I say that word. I'll be 49 in May.
No, I'm really impressed because you look phenomenal, and I never would have guessed you were 49. So, mad props.
Yeah. So I'm like 1 year, like a year and a bit from 50. And I just, I look around and people just are not living their best lives. So I want to live my best life, because this is our time. It's not when I turn 60 and I might have more time or more money. The best time is right now. And so I'm passionate about just trying to really bring joy into my life. That's my word this year. What brings me joy, and really focusing on that. Cause I think we just get so caught up in the mundane of life and all that stuff, and kids, and just being busy. So
Yeah, yeah. Bill Mayer always, he taught me, another friend of mine, he taught me, and in everything you do, make it fun. And so it was funny because the first year VR Shred, our mantra, our yearly mantra was like, make it fun. And then the next year it was discover you. And in 2022, and then all of a sudden I was like, wait, it just felt too serious. Like, I think we have to do make it fun every single year.
Absolutely. So what's the word for 2023 for ER Shred? What is it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's up to me in 2023. It's about personal accountability.
Love that.
So here is, now I want to let you run with where you were headed, which was, by the way, I get it. If you ever want to talk, I have a daughter that's 17. That's my oldest. And so I
know, because our kids, like, I mean, I remember Crystal, you had brought her, and he had come to the first couple, but that particular year we had left him at home with my in-laws, and I was like super missing him. And I remember you had your daughter, and they're the same age. So, and I see, like, kind of have seen you guys evolve over the years in your story and stuff. So it's been pretty incredible.
My daughter's so killer. I mean, she's so awesome. She's such a shredder. I mean, she's so amazing.
My son actually shredded with me on my second one.
That's great. Yeah. So we need to get into that. So you hear about this ER Shred, go there now. You had said something about, well, you just go there. How's that? Run with that and tell us all about it. So
Jeff thinks I'm such a great leader. So he's like, well, check this out. I think you should do it. And this was like kind of 2020, the pandemic. So I had gone through that. So this was 2021. And he always thinks that I can inspire people. So he's great like that. So he's like, I think you should get a bunch of people to do it, which I did. So I recruited a bunch of people, and we did this first shred. And I have to say, like, I felt amazing. I was at a low point for where I feel like my best is. And I was blown away at how I felt. But the biggest thing I found was you really, and I don't think people appreciate this, is that yes, you get amazing results. And I'll show some of my pictures after in the 9 days, like, you feel better. A lot of times, maybe you have more energy. You definitely, like, look leaner and, less bloated, all of those things. But to just stop and then just not take the opportunity to slowly reintroduce food, that is, like, I can't even stress enough. And now that I've done it, like this is my fourth one, the first 2 times that I did it, I did not have that opportunity because for some reason the group cleanse ended on Easter weekend. So I did as best as I could, but I mean, we were away. And then the second time I shredded, it was like, we were going away for the weekend. So I ate really healthy, but then I was like, okay, like, we're out. So I had eggs, and I did the best that I could, based on my knowledge, I guess, at the time. Mm-hmm. But what was really, I guess, exciting for me is that every time I could just see, like, the, feeling better and shredding. But it wasn't until my third shred. So my third shred was in November of last year. And it was another not so great time for me. In my pictures, you'll see I'm taped up. I had massive injuries I was dealing with, super frustrating, wasn't able to work out like I normally could. And at that point, I was not eating 100%. And I decided to do the shred. And I think that was my pivotal moment where I was like, okay, I need to live more of this lifestyle on a regular basis, because I already knew from my days of competing that I do really well with a lot of protein and also, like, less starchy carbs. So, like, when I talk about carbs, I don't mean vegetables or fruits, so to speak, but I'm talking about, like, potatoes and rice and things like that. So I've already started kind of eliminating those things. Like, for the most part, I try to be a little bit more mindful of not having them, or when I do have them, where my body can kind of utilize them. So I feel like I really noticed on the third one how much more patient I was as a person. And I just felt calmer and, I don't know, more at peace. And it was the weirdest thing. And that is what I really noticed. And for me, that was for me to lock in, for me to do this more as a lifestyle. I know there's some people that are really, they don't have a lot of vegetables. I do miss my vegetables. And so I know I will incorporate those. But after my third shred, and I mean, I got some amazing results. I mean, like I literally went from 136 pounds to about 125 pounds in my second shred. And my body fat went down from about a 30.6 to about 23.8, which was about where I was when I had competed. And I've never been able to get my body fat extremely low when I compete, even though I still look good competing. So for me, it's been amazing to see my body fat come down the way it has with, you know, in a way that's, it's easy to do. You know what I mean? Like you just eat the meat and, you know, you do the cleanse days. So
Because
that
the kind of competing you're talking about, just so everybody knows.
Oh, yes. So my husband's a natural bodybuilder. We're 100% natural. So we don't take anything. We just use the Isagenix products and we compete. But I'm a figure competitor. So I'm not like a girl that gets really, I guess, super crazy, jacked up, I guess. Just I look really nice and muscular. So for me,
you guys have both been on that stage countless times. I've seen you so many times.
Yeah, the last time we competed was together at the Nationals in 2019. So I haven't competed since then. So for me, it's like, I love having these goals. That's what makes me a better, like in terms of my physique, to be able to push myself. I need that. I need something that's like, okay, here I am and here I'm going. My husband and I actually were the first ever IsaBody challenge winners in 2007 in the couples category.
Yeah.
And that was kind of my first probably transformation. But like every once in a while, you know, like I need to have these big goals for me just to kind of like see where I can kind of push myself. And I haven't had that since 2019. So the ER shred was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And, you know, and I'm going to be, I say like, you know, bang on, I'm going to do it. I'm not going to cheat. And every time like I've done the shred, I just keep, you know, yes, I lose the weight and, you know, that's great. But it's just realizing like after Christmas, I mean, I had indulged like everyone probably did. And realizing how my energy was and how my mood was. And then to do this one, like I feel fantastic this entire week. Like I'm on a cleanse day today and I'm not even tired. And I just know now that this is something that I need to do on a regular basis and keep it up. And I don't want people to start this that I coach just for like a quick fix, because it's so much about when you're finished, it's like figuring out what really fuels your body, what makes you feel good, what makes you not feel crappy. And I don't encourage people. I say to them, if you can't do something past 11 days and you can't at least commit to like a month of being able to kind of transition, you know what I mean? Whether you transition off or you continue, don't even bother, because you're not going to get the benefits of what this truly is about. You know what I mean? And
thank you. No, seriously.
Yeah.
I hope everybody heard what you just said. Last night, Dr. Paul Arciero said the same thing. He said, ER shred is a lifestyle. So thank you for that. Let me gush on you just for a minute. This is Elisa and her husband, Jeff. You guys go follow Elisa on all her different platforms. Like I said, Elisa, to all of us ER shredders, you know, they probably didn't know that you are this jazzed about it. They probably didn't know. I mean, I know you play in the group, but no, just check it out. Check it out. Like, no, you are a badass. Guys, look at this one. Look at this. These guys are so legit. And look at this. Look at this, you guys. Check it out. Like, these guys are so awesome. So I have to ask you a very specific question, because I know Jesse's going to slap me if I don't. Why should fitness competitors, why should bodybuilders, why should athletes take a better, closer look at this and give this a try?
I mean, that's a great question, because I mean, Jeff and I have always competed extremely natural. So when I'm finished competing, I don't gain 20 pounds, because you know what I want the day that I'm finished competing? I don't need a donut or junk food. I don't have a stash, you know, ready for me to inhale. I want my Isagenix shake, because I'm cut off from it for like 3 days, because Jeff like always lets me have it up to 3 days before. Some competitors are like 6 months, a year, they can't have it. And I'm like, no. And I mean, the cleansing, what you can accomplish in 2 days of cleansing still blows my mind every single time that I do it. If you just commit to the 2 days, it's like you cannot even achieve that with weeks on a treadmill, like killing your body, which I can't do that because I will get too injured. So for me, I think it's just the Isagenix is such like a clean way to really to eat. But you know, I love the bone broth now too. Like I have it every day, just like one a day, even like when I'm not on a cleanse day. But I feel that just from like a perspective to be able to lean up, I don't think people realize how much protein you really need. And I drill this home all the time when I'm coaching people, and especially when I know people are like, oh, I'm not really getting great results. And, you know, they're friends or they're just, you know, people that I'm trying to kind of like share. And we start talking about their protein. And I don't think people realize that you need, like, you can have a healthy diet, but if you don't have that protein component, and that's what, you know, I want to say like Paul, but I can't remember Dr.
Arciero. It's a hard one.
Arciero. Last night, it's like, you know, like people really need to monitor how much protein. And that's what's beauty about this, is that you're not necessarily monitoring how much protein you are, because you can kind of have as much as you want, but you more than are going to be like hitting that. And that's why people are getting results, because they're getting that protein component to build like the muscle and, you know, to help, you know what I mean? And then the
totally satiated, cravings crushed.
My cravings, yeah. Like my mother-in-law brought over a banana cream pie the other day. My kids had, there's like a cookie fundraiser. I've been making them dinner every night. We went out to dinner the other night, and my husband, I love burgers. Like if you want like food, like, I don't remember if we went to California, Hodad's in California, outside of San Diego. I mean, I like love a good burger, and he's like enjoying this good burger, and I'm there with my steak and my shrimp, and like zero cravings. And I'm like, you know, I know we're technically done on Thursday, but I'm like, oh no, like I'm still going. So I am at such a good point, and I'm at like this, I said to my husband, I'm at this like set point right now, and I just want to like see how much further I can kind of crush it.
Yeah.
And especially it's January in like Ontario. It's the most depressing place to be right now. Most days are overcast. So I feel like this is just like January. I'm like, what? It's like, it's almost over. I'm like, we have a couple months left of winter. Like, I feel like this was just perfect timing to just fuel me. And I think most people are going downhill right now. And I'm like, yep, I'm gonna, you know, rock my 49th birthday, you know, in May. So
your, again, thank you for your endorsement. It means everything to me. To me, you are a totally legitimate professional athlete. Elisa, I get it. I get after it in the gym. I mean, I work my ass off. And a lot of times people will come up to me and they'll say, do you compete? Are you going to compete? And I humbly say to them, no, that's a different level. Like I respect people that do that greatly. I love to go to like bodybuilding shows. I love to go to expos, like big fan. But I also know that for me, a father of four, like, you know what? I know what it would take for me to compete at that level. And it's, you know, I don't choose that. That's all I'm going to say is I don't choose that, but I have mad respect for you, and that you've done that, and your endorsement means the world to us. Like, that's what I want to tell you.
Well, thank you. And I can say that both my husband and I competed together at the Nationals, and when people found out that we were married, they were like, because most competitors are miserable and like their whole family suffers. My children have never suffered when we've competed. My husband went to the Nationals in like, where was it? Nova Scotia. We took our children with us, pulled them out of school early, and we did a trip. And I was going to be competing a couple of weeks later. So like, you know, I had an ice cream when I was there. I'm like, I love Isagenix. I'm telling you, Isagenix is like, I will never leave Isagenix and not use these products, because I feel like you know, I have not always been perfect. I mean, I will show you my before picture. And I mean, we all have moments, right? We have hard times, we get in a rut, whatever. But I mean, Isagenix has never, ever failed me. And, you know, I know that you could definitely compete and easily, because you have these products and you have this amazing protocol that makes it so easy to shred and to build muscle. I mean, it's incredible.
So
But
I
I
want to,
think-
let me,
Yeah.
oh, you go, you do what? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, I just wanted to show you my my November shred pictures, if you guys
Hmm.
can see that. I don't know if can I go
Okay,
closer?
hold on. You can do it a little closer and just try to hold it steady so that it
Okay,
focuses.
I'm going to just see where okay, wait. I'm just there. Wait. Can you guys see that? Maybe not. But I definitely can like put it in the, I don't know if I posted this picture in the group.
Damn,
but-
so like, I'm sorry to click the photo. I want you to show it one more time, and everybody, what I want you to pay attention to, Elisa in the top, I know that's the before, because even look at the inflammation, and there's a little bit of bloat, and then in the bottom, like gonzo and just fierce. Like, go ahead.
It's kind of hard to show, but I mean, I can post this in the group again, but I just, when I see those pictures, I mean, I wasn't at, like, some people are like, oh, well, your best is like, I want to be there. Well, I know what my best is, and and you should never ever compare it. No one should ever compare themselves. Like, like some people, you might be like, oh, well, like she looks so good in her before picture. Well, that's not my best. And we all have to be on our own journey, you know what I mean? And what, how I feel. And I feel that I am definitely, feeling better and better. And I know
You've
that this-
upgraded. You feel upgraded.
yeah, like, I mean, I just think it's like, I always want to become a better version of myself. I like to push myself.
How do you feel, real quick? I'm just doing this because, again, Jesse will slap me if I don't. How do you feel fat fueled on your workouts?
Yeah, like no issues and at all. Like
Do you
I
feel
honestly-
more, do you feel even more sustained? I do. I mean, I just feel like I can just work out for hours on end. And I feel like that slow burn for me is just so sustained.
well, I guess like I'm very lucky. I have a trainer that's like, he's about like workout smart, not harder.
Mhm.
And so I don't have like hour-long workouts. I do them before I go to my other job or whatever. And for me, I also have an injury that I've been dealing with on and off for a few years. So for me, I'm just being like, it's just more about being lean and strong and not re-injuring myself. But I do feel like I feel really, to be honest, like super energized all the time. Like I am on a cleanse day and no one would even know. And even like last night, everything I accomplished when I got back from being gone all day, like most people will sit in front of the TV. And I think I did my income tax, got on a call, made 3 batches of zucchini bread. And I was like, wow, that was such a productive night. But I'm just like, I feel so good. And I do feel that because you are getting so much protein, and oh my God, the incubated shakes, I cannot say enough about how much I love them.
Yeah.
I think that you're utilizing them, right? And it's just, I feel like working out is not hard. Like I don't feel deprived that I'm not able to push through my workouts. So
I saw a girl. It was funny because, when I work out, I'm not afraid to, because like I worked with a trainer at one point, a friend of mine, and he's like, hey man, like you need to like see your muscles contract. You need to see what is, because I would wear t-shirts and he'd say, hey man, like if you want to grow, you need to see what these muscles are doing. So I was doing abs and I was like this in the mirror. And this girl comes up to me and she's a competitor. And she said, are you going to compete? And I was like, no. But she was competing, and she was in that phase that you hear about where it's just, it's brutal. She looked lethargic. She looked like hell. She was like, oh my God. And
I don't know how that is. I've never had that ever, because I've used Isagenix almost right until like 3 days before I'm having my shakes. And
I love it.
And I don't, and that I look healthy. I don't feel tired.
It's
so
it's a testament to our products. I love that.
It is like these products, like just to do a normal 9-day cleanse or 30-day reset, it's amazing what people can achieve. But like when you throw this protocol into the mix, it's just like, I can't even say, it's just like, it's like another level, because you're taking the best of so many different I don't know, protocols, or like I've done a keto isogenics thing before, hated every minute of it. My children will never let me ever do it again. My family, they were like, you were a bear. Why? I could not have my full isogenic shakes because there was too many carbs in it. I'm like, horrible. I mean, they're good for me. So this, I'm like, I get to have 2 shakes and eat like meat, and oh my God, I love bacon. So, I mean, like, this is just like, honestly, it's just like another level. And I think it's not for everybody. And when I really tell people like, this is the normal, but this, and then you would be surprised when people are like, oh, I'm really like the sound of this. I'm
They're like,
okay.
steak and shake, eat like kings and queens.
I'm like,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Yeah. And some people have really surprised me. So I've been like, okay, but I'm like, but then again, I'm like, no, you can't stop at 11 days. Like, we're going to keep going, because you're not just going to like miss
You're
it
going
on
to
all
build
the
that
benefits.
blueprint. You're going to build that intuitive blueprint. Okay.
yeah.
We have to end here, but I am going to close with you and then let Jesse close us out. Jesse going to talk about you a lot, I know, because you are a brand spanking to us. You're official now. Anybody that comes on this call, they graduate to ER Shred warrior status, and then we got to throw up swords for them because you're so badass. Thank you so much. We totally just love you. And by the way, here's my invitation for you, Elisa. Please, we need more of you in the group. We need more of what you're all about and your energy and your motivation. Please bring it to the collective. Throw your logs up on the fire. It's going to burn brighter. We all win.
Absolutely. And I am trying to get more out there. Sometimes I become quiet. So I'm not like my husband, Jeff, who's like kicked out of Facebook all the time because he's like, so like, you know, he's just speaks his truth, you know, but definitely
listen, you are every bit as strong and badass as your husband. You are fierce. You are fierce. We love you. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Jesse, we're top of the hour. I know you want to take we want you to take the last 5 minutes or so and close us out. What'd you think?
Yeah, man. I'm going to come on nice and slow this week so Bob doesn't fall backwards into his couch and beat up Sally, because I saw her back there today. So, thank you so much, Alyssa, Kathy, everybody. I'm just so excited. You know, I do, as you know, Sean, I do a lot of self-development, right? Always digging, always working on the mind. I think that, you know, nutrition's the catalyst that really feeds the rest of our life. I think once we stop feeling like crap every day, once we stop beating ourselves up, once we get that feeling that it's like, holy crap, this is what it feels like to actually be a human being, right? With the ER Shred protocol, with the Isagenix products, with all the amazing stuff that we have, we start to dive into other stuff. And, you know, I learned this lesson the other day, and it just, you know, as I was journaling, it brought back this connection with ER Shred. And then, you know, with Dr. Paul last night, like, I'm still so wired from that call. I mean, that dude, like, he moved the needle for my life. You know, you have these people, you are a person that moved the needle for my life. And I don't have a lot of those people. I wish I had more, but, you know, Dr. Paul just, you know, that was my jam, right? You find this person, you know, I find this person in these things. We all find these people. And I heard this thing, and it was about reclaiming your agenda. And I was like, holy crap, like, that's what ER Shred's allowing people to do. You know, how many people like just go out in public every day and look around, and you're going to find lost souls everywhere. You're going to find souls just wandering. You're going to find souls on fire, right? That's why we say that we got the fire extinguisher. We got the solution for people, because we know we have that. But I think it goes so much deeper too, right? As we start to see with people like Kathy, I mean, gosh, I love her so much, to watch her progression, you know, from where she was, like you talked about it, like, this is not just about nutrition. You stay on this, like Alyssa's saying, long enough, like, this is not 11 days. This is not 11 days. You're missing the point if that's the thing. And, you know, I really love it, because if you really think about it, like, are you claiming your agenda? Are you claiming what you really want in life? And I think that the ER shred, the tracks that we laid for people to be able to put people back on track, take their derailed train, put them back on the right track. I think it's allowing people to really reclaim their agenda that I think so many of us have lost, unfortunately, kind of right after childhood, right? Like once we stop living in the world, I'm learning so much from my little guy. Like if you have a baby and you haven't paid attention, like you missed out. Like, yeah, they're your kid. Yeah, you're going to have fun. Yeah, they're going to have, you're going to see them do all kinds of crazy shit. But, I'm learning like, wow, what's the difference, Jesse? Like no matter what's happening in life, this little dude walks around living in imagination and vision. Imagination and vision. He doesn't know anything else. And here I am as a human living in a story and in the past because I've been corrupted. I've been polluted over time through bad teaching, through bad nutrition, see how it's all tied together. I really believe it's all one. I practice holistic nutrition, right? And we talk about these things like the food on our plate is what's called secondary food in my world of coaching. The real food on the plate is the primary foods of life, right? Anybody that's maybe went through IIN probably heard this, right? It's the circle of life, and it's everything from spirituality, home cooking, home shopping, farming, getting in touch, your career, your relationship. And I just love the fact when we hear these stories, like it really gets me so fired up, which is why I'm talking to and kind of bringing attention is watching people reclaim back their agenda, reclaim back their life. It's one of the things that I'm so freaking proud of is because like that's the mission, right? Like that's at the root of the cause of ER Shred. Like, what do we really want to do? We want to empower people to live their best freaking life ever. That's really what this is, right? Yeah, it starts with health because we all feel like so much shit. And I get it. It's all because of the stuff going on and all the things when we're confused and this gets us back on. But it's really about people reclaiming. I see Mimi in the corner. Like, I mean, she's reclaimed identity. She's reclaimed self-belief. Like that doesn't mean things go, our every day's, whatever. Yeah, there's shit. There's road bumps, there's speed bumps, there's stings. But I mean, to watch that in a human and to know, why I'm so passionate about that? Because I remember being there. I remember being in a place where I didn't even want to live. Like I didn't understand the reason anymore. And I found the gym. And it saved my life. And then I got into nutrition and then I got into that power. And then it was like Kathy said, it's that constant stepping stone. So I guess the end message is, look at where you're at. If you're somebody sitting on the fence, if you're, somebody who's scared to share, like this isn't about you. This is so much bigger in what we can do as a collective whole, right? Get out there because so many people need to reclaim their agenda of life. So many people need a solution. So many people are sitting and don't even realize what's about to come around the corner. Like we have something for them and be so proud of that. That call last night, I mean, my armor, if it wasn't thick enough, like I was walking around the second day we launched this saying this is the greatest damn health protocol in the world. Like if you think that was strong, like the armor last night from a man of that caliber that's seen it all, done it all, played with the supplements, over 70 peer-reviewed publications. Guys, a scientist is lucky if they get a couple. I mean, you got to understand this world, right? 80 abstracts. One of 15 in the world on the International Protein Board, an athlete, a man who he talks the talk and walks the walk. Do you know how rare that is in this industry? Melissa will tell you, she sees coaches, right? Coaches all the time and stuff. Like it doesn't always work like that, So I mean, that's it, if you're still struggling, I guess my thing is, with all the blabber that I do, if you're still struggling, realize that you can claim your agenda. Your life is not lost. You're not broken. You're not anything that you think. You're not your thoughts, right? And if you can just jump in and tune into the community, reclaim your agenda, get back your health, realize that, dive in, things I promise you are going to be so much better. And the last thing I just leave with, Sean, is I know we're, you and I talked, and I just want to put this out there to the universe because that's how I know that I'm going to commit and get things done. We're way overdue. I know there's so many people out there that really want to shout this from the rooftops. And I remember my first days, and I remember I didn't know what to say. And I remember I didn't have a clue. And I remember before all of it. And, I don't want that to be able to stop people. I don't want that to be a brick wall for people that they need. So I'm going to commit and promise, and you've asked me to do this as well.
I have commissioned you.
You have commissioned me to put out a short, what is ER Shred, why ER Shred, why the product, and I got to do it in a very limited period of time, which for any of you that had conversations with me, it's very challenging for me to be able to do that. But we're going to make that happen, and we're going to get it out for you guys real soon. So it's as simple as like, hey, what are you doing? Smash that button and boom, here you go. This is exactly what it is. Guide them into it. And we're just going to keep building layer after layer after layer after layer for you guys. So just keep jumping in, just keep showing up, keep doing what you do. And I'm just so grateful for each and every single one of you.
Oh man, gave me those feel goods again. Jesse, what a powerful message. I'm going to leave it at that. Boy, let's breathe that one in, everybody. Just breathe it in, okay? Let me put it in gallery. We're all going to breathe that sucker in, and we're all going to carry that with us. Ready? We're going to hold that one, baby. All right, everybody, feel free to unmute. We love you all. Thank you for coming tonight.
Such a fun call. And
Hey, we got
great
ER
call.
Shred Ambassador Bob Sivert on here too. Hey, Bobby, good to have you on. Thank you.
Hey, last week was way too much fun. So great call tonight. This is awesome.
And you stayed on your feet tonight, Bob, which I'm very proud of you.
Hey, my whatever you call that thing, you turn upside, whatever. The thing you hang upside down with. I can't even remember what you call it.
Inversion.
The inversion board. I took it down. But
Hey, man, Chris Albright is still going on the treadmill.
Yeah, you go, girl. I'm so impressed.
I love it. And Lisa showed up. Lisa's going to be on with us next week. Lisa Oken, everybody join next week. Check her out in her hat. Yes.
Yeah, baby.
You guys
Oh,
want to
hey.
get these hoodies are great for cleansing on ER
Love my
Shred,
hoodie.
ERShredgear.com.
Thank
Go
you
ahead,
for
Jess.
coming on, Kate.
Hey, Sean, real quick. I just got to give one last little shout out. She's not on video right now, but we always say who shared ER Shred. Obviously, we know you shared ER Shred with me, right? You called me, you told me, we got back, and then boom, there we go. But the person that started this all for me, that had the cojones to come up to me when, sometimes you go, oh, whatever, here I am, ripped, shredded into all this bodybuilding, and I was working in this precious metal company, but Tammy Martin was actually the person that originally shared this with me like 8 years ago. So I love you, Tammy. I can't wait to catch up. She's amazing. She's the one that started this whole thing for me. So I just had to give her a shout out. And she's
Jesse,
crushing the shred.
We wouldn't know each other otherwise. If you think about it, we wouldn't know each other.
We would not know each other. That's the power, right? That's the power of why we need to not keep our mouths closed and get it out there. But it's because of her that everything started. So I love her to death. And she is crushing the ER Shred. We have to get her on here. So I'm going to call her
Well,
out.
get her on here next
her
week.
results are just bonkos.
Next week, the week after, let us know. Please do, Tammy, if you can make it on.
For
All
sure.
right, guys. So fun. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Good night.
everyone.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.
Night.